clients. If anyone really seen it, I'm sorry, I'm going to show it again, because this is a client we really love. It's called SiSense, you know them. We started working with them when there were, I think, 40 people, and now there are over 400. And what they're doing is BI, generic BI. They take data, they put it into a dashboard. And when we came there, the entire market has targeted. The fight is over, you know, who has the best BI software or something. The criterion isn't clear. And everyone was talking to the same target audience, which is, you know, you guys, the business users, the one that sits in front of the dashboard and consumes insight out of it. As you can see, everyone is showing exactly the same visual, you know, claiming the same, making the same claims of how easy it is. The fight was over how easy it is to build your dashboard. And SiSense always also saying, oh, we have the easiest way. Any business user can build its own dashboard, completely self-service. The problem is, you know, there are like very, very strong players in the market. Tableau, I know, I'm sure you know the name. And looking at the landscape, we realize that there are 3 places that a company or a client can be. On one side, we have people working with Excel. They're not interesting. Okay, they're outside of the market. On the other side, we have what we call the dinosaurs. You know, huge companies, General Electric, they want to pay $5 million to IBM. Good luck with that. But the interesting market is in the middle, where the cool company named Tableau realized this very simple thing. You want to take your Excel, turn it into a dashboard, share it inside the organization, and everyone will say how awesome you are. And they became a billion-dollar companies, and you know, 10 years later, 200 companies are doing Me Too to Tableau. Some succeeded, and SiSense came just in a not so fashionably late of 10 years, and are not succeeding to generate any differentiation. So once again, crowded position. Which position do I need to take? Then we dive a bit deeper into the market, and we realize that inside this segment, there's actually another segment. We call it the analyzers. These are people that have deep question about their business. Why do I get recalls of cars in the month of August or something like that? Now, the answer is never simple to create. It's always depends on joining a lot of data sources together. It's not on one Excel. It's not just you know, turning your Excel into a dashboard. You need to combine together the CRM and the ERP and the Zendesk and the Salesforce. And in order to do that, you always call your IT guy. It's not something you do alone. And this is an insight that we got along the way and along the process and the interviews. And then we realized suddenly that the entire market talks to this business user, tells him how awesome his dashboard will be and how easy for him it will be to create. We realized that SiSense has a very unique offering for this IT guy, because in this scenario for analyzer that have a deep question about his business and he needs to join multiple sources together, he always calls the IT guy. And for the IT guy, it's a completely new challenge. He doesn't care about the dashboard. The dashboard is for this guy. So we say, hey, wait, let's talk to this guy. Who is this guy? And we find out that the champion in like almost all of the opportunities that SiSense actually wins is this IT guy. Now, we like to think about the decision makers, the C-level executive. Now, in many cases, yeah, they sign the check, right? But the guy that decides is the guy that doing the evaluation, the champion of the product, of the project. Because he comes to the C-level guy, he says, look, I evaluated SiSense and Tableau, and I recommend SiSense, and he would go with them in like 90% of the cases. So we are choosing to target this guy, the IT guy. Now, who is this guy? He's a professional. The entire market is talking to the business user. We want to talk about the professional. Nobody talks to this guy. And if you will say to this guy, look, it's easy, anyone can do it, you installed his ego. So why not saying, oh, this is a tool for the professional? It's make you stronger in the organization. It make you feel like a pro. And what we want to talk about is we want to highlight the benefits for this guy, the benefits of joining all the multiple data sources together, and we want to talk about the back end of the system, the data engine, the powerful data engine that SiSense has. that helps this guy to join the multiple sources and not the dashboard. So we create a brand that is completely like, you know, the Walt Stanley. You see this, you feel immediately, oh, this is something professional. It's wrapped by the strategic message, the BI Power Tool, that tells this exact story of if you have lightweight needs, you know, take Tableau. But if you have big data, multiple data sources, take a Power Tool. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult. Now, we talked before about visual storytelling, about Pantene, showing the technology. We realized that if we want to create a reason to believe, we need to show it some way, because we are trying to seize the position of we help you connect complex data, right? So what helps you in this process is this data engine. And that's why we created this you know, powerful engine. By the way, the demographics of the target audience were men, you know, ages between 35, 45, play Xbox, they love this stuff. So the really important stuff is giving it shape. It's not enough that you say, oh, I have a powerful backend that enables multiple sources connection. It's about showing it. And that's why we created this dashboard, and then the positioning become very clear. It's about the power, about using the right tool for the job. And this is more deeply into the tech, but anyway, look how we tell this entire story of differentiation instead of me blurring for 5 minutes in a 1 minute clip.
Say you want to make yourself a smoothie. Any blender will do. But if you have to do some real mixing, you should probably use a more powerful tool. Say you want to build a sandcastle. Any shovel and pail will do. But when you want to build a real house, you should probably use a more powerful tool. The same goes for BI. When your needs are lightweight, needing a single source, a small amount of data, and a few users, any visualization tool will do. But when you're dealing with real BI, meaning multiple sources, more data, and many users, you should probably use SiSense. SiSense, BI Power Tool.
So you get it, once again, we're trying to claim the position of simplifying the business analytics for complex data, for this scenario of analyzers. We do it by showing our reason to believe, showing our how. So it really becomes about the how, not about the why. And this is an example where a company has real differentiation and real deep technology to show for. Now, just to sum this up, the best, maybe the best possible outcome of a branding is where you have a conjunction of both what is called commercial insight and personal insight. The commercial insight in our case was it helps IT easily connect complex data from many sources and big data. But the personal insight is that this IT guy was alone. Nobody was talking to him. All of the tools were addressed to the business user, and finally he has a tool for him, and he can feel a professional. When the commercial insight meets the personal insight, you will get the higher gain from your